Hi guys, my name is Rohini. I work at Breathe Pilates in Singapore. I'm a Pilates trainer there. So today we're going to talk about your hamstring stretches, okay? So a lot of people come to us and they complain about their hamstrings being tight. I'm sure most of you at some point have experienced this or felt that your hamstrings are tight. To give you an idea, all of us pretty much sit at our desk in this position or this position, right? And this leads to a lot of tightness to the muscles that are across the front of your thighs and hips and across the backs of your thighs and hips. So your hamstrings live in the back of your thighs, just about here. And to sometimes stretch the hamstrings, you also need to stretch the other hip and thigh muscles, okay? So it would make a lot of sense if all the muscles or many muscles around your hips and legs are tight, to stretch them all together to get the best stretch and release for your hamstring rather than do one and ignore the other. So that's what we are going to do today. We're going to stretch your quad muscles, the muscles across the front of your thighs, which can get tight from sitting for a long time, and your hip flexors and your hamstrings. All right, so I'm going to demonstrate the stretch for you. All you need for this stretch is a mat and a chair. All right, so we're going to do a hamstring stretch now. Before we do the hamstring stretch, like I just explained, we're going to go through other hip muscles and knee muscles just to make sure we give the hamstrings a chance to stretch in the best possible way. All right, so we're going to start by having a chair in front of us and we're going to have a mat underneath us. Of course, use something underneath your knees if you need to, if your knees don't like being on a hard surface, right? We're going to bring one leg in front of us into a lunge position. So I'm going to call this my back leg and this my front leg, okay? So we're going to stay here. We're going to keep our ankle, our knee aligned, our hip nice and tall. So you're going to start by doing a little bit of a tilt from your pelvis by squeezing your bum here on the right and feeling a stretch to the front of your quad here. We're going to do this a few times and hold that feeling for a few seconds and relax. So you're going to slowly tilt, squeeze the bum and feel the opening and the stretch to the front of your thigh. Once you've done this a few times, this is my third time just to be clear, we're going to slowly change the position. So I'm going to move my foot forward and I'm going to kind of keep the same feeling of tilting the pelvis forward, squeezing the bum, and I'm going to hinge slightly further forward to feel a deeper stretch to the front of my trousers here where your hip flexors are. You can use your hands if you need to, but just make sure your body is upright. You can use your hands on the chair if you need to. You'll do this and hold the stretch for a few seconds. Make sure you're breathing and relaxing into the stretch. I feel like I can go further, so I'm going to shuffle my front leg further to give me more room to move and deepen this stretch as I keep my bum slightly engaged to make sure I don't arch or lean back or create any strain through my lower back. That's it. You want to feel slightly uncomfortable while you're stretching, being mindful not to have any sharp kind of discomfort or pain through the leg or the hip. Good. Once you've done this for a little longer, you can try a couple of attempts holding for a few seconds every time. Then we're going to stretch the hamstring and finally get to the hamstring where we need to go. All right. So slowly I'm going to straighten out my front leg here. And again, your choice. You can have your foot down or you can have your foot up. Depends on what suits you. You keep the same feeling through this hip as you hinge forward, and this is where the chair comes in handy. You can use your hands to place your hands on the chair and make sure you don't slouch forward. Your spine is nice and straight and upright. So I feel a good stretch to the back of my thigh here, and this is your hamstring, right? This is what we want to stretch. You're going to hold the stretch for a few seconds. Again, once I feel like I've gotten as much as I can in this position, I can move further and see if I can go deeper. Again, my focus or goal is not to bring my nose to my toes, it's to kind of lengthen the back of the hip and to keep my spine in a nice position without straining my neck either. Breathe and ease into the stretch and relax. Try and do your stretches every day to get more value out of them. And then slowly relax, bend this knee, bring it back in. And if you do this more consistently, your hamstrings will feel less tight and they will feel more flexible over a period of time. Thank you.